Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a review on the About Fight X Blow made in Korea boxing gloves with soft padding. So stay tuned. All right, so today I'll be doing a close-up weigh-in and review on this About Fight X Blow made in Korea boxing gloves. This is the soft padding version of the gloves. If you guys have watched my previous review, I actually did a pair of the red gloves, which were the hard padding. So the only difference between the two is going to be the type of padding they use in the gloves. And this one is going to be much softer, more of a medium density rather than rock solid hard like the other ones. I got them in white. You can see these are 10 ounces. It's a Velcro strap glove. Made in Korea. It says X Blow with that rubberized patch that's vertical. Black piping there. You also have the X Blow Made in Korea logo on the back of the glove. You can see the knuckle area and the density of the padding in here. Definitely more forgiving in that regard. So if you go with a larger size, you can definitely use these for sparring as well as other kind of gym training. You can see the double stitching, cross stitching on the palm. Nylon attached thumb. Wish that was leather like the rest of the glove. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's nothing too crazy about it. You also have kind of that grainy, kind of reptile looking skin piping that they use also in their headgear as a liner. And then you also have kind of that suede type liner on the inside with the nylon on the back. You have about a ½ inch of padding on the wrist, as well as 3/4 of an inch of really dense padding on the back of the wrist. I mean, that's really hard. It feels either like a rubber sheet or a piece of EVA foam that's really dense on the back of the glove. So right there to show you guys the gloves next to each other. You can see the thumb looks good, nice and parallel. Let's go ahead and put these on the scale, see how much these weigh. So the right glove weighs right in at 9.9 ounces, almost 10 exactly. And the left glove weighs in at exactly 10 ounces. So that's awesome to see. The gloves are exactly on weight as being 10 ounces as advertised. Let's go ahead and do the review. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the About Fight X Blow made in Korea boxing gloves with soft padding. You guys may have seen a couple weeks ago, I actually did a video review on the same exact gloves that are in red, except they use the hard padding style. So the only difference between the two gloves is going to be the style of padding that they use. So the soft padding they use here is definitely a lot more forgiving. It's probably just a better suited glove for overall training in the gym, whether it's sparring, hitting the bag, doing the mitts, whatever it may be. To me, the soft padding is definitely the way to go, where the hard padding version that I have in the red, I'd say is better if you're looking just specifically for bag work and hitting the mitts. Definitely not for sparring, but you definitely get an excellent crack out of it because of the kind of padding they use over the knuckles, where this one is softer and has just a much more forgiving consistency. Now, with that being said, About Fight's a company based out of Korea. This is a Korean-made glove, which is pretty unique because you don't see too many gloves that are proprietarily made in Korea. But definitely a really clean-looking glove. There's not too much going on with this graphics-wise. You can see they just put their X Blow logo on the back of the glove that has this big X Blow made in Korea, pretty much straight to the point. This has a little bit more of a compact profile. This is a 10-ounce glove. You can get it in different sizes as well as different colors like white, red, blue, black, yellow. I think purple, I believe, is another color you can choose from. If you do decide to go check out their website, it is in Korean. So I recommend if you have a PC or even on your smartphone, you may be able to translate. Use Google Translate to actually translate the page to your native language. That way you can understand what you're looking at when you go on their website. So design-wise, you can see it's pretty simple looking. Has X Blow made in Korea there. It has full wraparound Velcro strap that has a rubberized patch vertical on the back of the wrist that says X Blow made in Korea with a 10-ounce weight tag. See there, has a 3.5-inch Velcro strap that has black piping around it. Nice big padding right there, or Velcro on the back of the pad of the wrist right there. And the actual padding is really hard. It's like almost like a rubber sheet or a piece of EVA. It's really dense. 3/4 of an inch. You can see the inner liner uses a nylon liner on the back of the hand, and you almost have like this felt-like liner on the palm side on the wrist with about a ½ inch of padding on both sides. Rotating over to the palm side, black piping as well. double stitching, and then you have kind of this cross stitching right here to kind of reinforce it. You typically don't see that. You usually just see either stitching on that side that kind of goes across, and that's pretty much it. You do have black piping on the thumb that has a little bit more of a kind of like a reptile texture to it. I don't know if that's real leather or not, maybe synthetic. You have a medium-sized grip bar that has good density to it, no ventilated holes, and you also have a nylon attached thumb. I wish that was leather. I'm not sure why they decided to use nylon right here, especially with how thin it is. That's definitely going to me is going to start ripping over time. You can actually see right there already that it's starting to kind of tear. So the fact that they use nylon there and kind of cheaped out is really beyond me. I don't know why they did that. Other than that, you can see that it's a pretty basic looking glove. Now the quality of gloves are pretty good. Like I was mentioning earlier, that nylon strap is an issue. The leather on here has more of a matte texture to it. It's not a very shiny leather, but so far it's held up really nicely. I don't have any issues with inconsistency on the actual foam padding. So the foam itself looked like it's held up really well. The stitching is okay. You can see some areas right here on where the thumb meets the index finger where the stitching kind of pulling at the leather. You can see some of the stitching kind of dropping right here, kind of pulling out on the grip bar. Fingertip compartment looks pretty good overall, but again, just more stitching, a little bit of fraying here on this outside edge, and again, some more pulling of the leather of the stitching on the outside right there. The symmetry of the actual stitching looks pretty good. It's just kind of the pulling at the leather that gets me. And the liner looks good. Inside's clean. They do a nice job of putting padding where it needs to be. The Velcro strap is clean as well, and the glove is really well balanced. Speaking of quality, you guys got to see earlier that this glove is exactly on weight. So that's pretty rare, all things considered, for a training glove. Typically when you have pro fight gloves, they're always on weight for the most part. They might be like 0.1 ounces off, but for training gloves, that's really awesome to see that these gloves are exactly on weight and they're really well balanced right there. So you can see that stiff padding on the back of the wrist as well as that 1/2 inch of padding on the palm really helps distribute the weight and not make it too top heavy or bottom heavy. So definitely like that. Comfort wise, you slide your hand in here and the gloves are very comfortable. Excellent comfort. I love the actual size of the gloves. Me having medium sized hands, even for a 10-ounce glove, they're not too restrictive. So I feel like my hands are definitely in a nice position. Thumb has excellent positioning, even with my finger all the way down and making a fist. I don't feel like my thumb jams at the tip right there. Nice deep finger compartment, and I'd say pretty broken in feel. Not super soft, but soft enough to where you can definitely open your palm to parry shots if you want to. And it's not overly stiff. And a lot of that also has to do with the kind of padding they use on here. But you can see that you can open and close your hand with relative ease. The wrist support feels really nice. I'd say that the wrist support on here is definitely better than winning, which makes a Velcro glove, which I feel is a lot more thinner than this glove, and definitely doesn't have the amount of padding this glove has around the wrist. So the fact that they give you a good amount of padding on the back as well as on the inside of the wrist is really nice. Grip bars in the perfect position, and you can make an excellent fist. Not too roomy on the inside. I don't feel like my hand shifts around, especially with my hand wraps on. Or it's not too tight. I don't have any pinch points like right here on the thumb where the piping is at. You can actually feel that they kind of used, I don't know if it's a piece of neoprene, but they rolled the stitching on the inside and covered it with a piece of nylon, so you don't actually feel where the stitching is stitched into right here. So that's another nice touch. Protection and performance. This is a balanced glove. Even for a 10-ounce glove, I love the fact that these are compact. They're lighter weight, so you can use them obviously for hitting the mitts, doing bag work. Obviously, they're too small for being sparring gloves. But compared to their hard padding, you can actually see the soft padding right here. You get a good amount of feedback as well as good protection. So, you know, the fact that you can really make a nice tight fist really lends to being able to have a more enjoyable experience when you're working on your craft, but more so with preventing injury. And I find a lot of times injuries are created because of the incorrect hand ergonomics, not so much the kind of padding that's advertised or all the high-tech wrist support systems they create on these gloves and 5,000 layer foam padding and all that good stuff. That's all great, but to me, really, the protection portion is really the bottom line on that, or should I say the foundation of that is really the way you can form a fist. And the better you can actually form a natural fist inside a glove, the better you are going to be off in the long run as far as protecting your hands and just getting a much better experience when you're boxing. And I feel like this does a really great job with these gloves. You can really make an excellent fist. Feels really nice and tight. You know, they always say when you're throwing your punches for speed or just throwing your punches, your hands are typically open until the moment of impact. That's when you close your hand. That's where you get the most snap and power extracted out of that punch. So with this, you can see you can open and close your hand with relative ease. So you can keep your hand nice and relaxed like you're supposed to. And then right on the moment of impact, just bang, go for your punch. Bang, bang. And does it really nicely. It's not too stiff. So definitely love the protection and performance of these gloves. If I were to choose between the two of the X-Blow gloves, the hard padding I did in red and these, I definitely for 100% would always go with these. Again, the red gloves may appeal with the hard padding, may appeal more to those that want to go specifically with network and just love hearing that loud banging popping sound. But to me, this is a much more balanced glove. Cost-wise, these gloves are about $85 US. So just depending on the currency exchange or currency conversion from the Korean won to wherever currency you use will determine what you're going to pay for. But here in the United States, these are roughly about $85 plus shipping, which is, it's a really good deal, all things considered. I mean, full genuine leather, made in Korea, great hand ergonomics, great protection. The only thing I would say opportunity-wise is the stitching just needs to be improved, and don't cheap out on that attached thumb. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these X-Blow boxing gloves. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.